Hello. Wow, it's good to be here. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I must say that it's good. It's good to be back. The other time the internet just went off, and that was so sudden. Wow, it's good to be back again here, and we'll just take it from the beginning again for the sake of those that will be joining this session. So, guys, let's share this the link to this second, the main one now. Let's share it everywhere. Let's share it. I'm sure we're also live on Facebook. So, all my Facebook people, I celebrate you. Thank you for joining this live session. So, this is the day one of the Land Banking Masterclass. And in this class, I'm going to be teaching you how wise investors buy land cheap and build wealth over time. How wise investors, buy land cheap and build wealth over time. Please note that this is the day one of the class. So the day two is holding tomorrow by 8 p.m. We also started this session again, this day one around 8 p.m. But due to the network, due to the internet, so we had to go start all over again. So I celebrate everyone joining. So if you are joining me back, say we are back. Just type in the comment box, type one in the comment box so that I can know that I'm not the only one here. Type one, type one, type one. Let's keep it coming. Yes, let's keep it coming. So you are learning how wise investors buy land cheap and build wealth over time. Awesome, awesome. So welcome to Land Banking Masterclass. I want to say a good evening to everyone. And should in case you are watching from somewhere outside Nigeria, I want to say good day to you. And I want to all say hello to you. And I want to sincerely welcome you to the Land Banking Masterclass, where you will learn how wise investors buy land cheap and build wealth over time. My name is Jeremiah Olauton, and for years I have been involved in helping individuals acquire land and understand how real estate can be used as a tool for wealth creation. So tonight we are not here to sell land. Yes, we are here to discuss something more important than land itself. We are here to discuss knowledge, because a person with land but without knowledge can lose money. But a person with knowledge can identify opportunities that others cannot see. So over the next 2 days, I will show you why what land banking truly means. I also share why some investors make millions while others lose money. You also learn how to identify future growth locations, how to avoid common land scams, and finally, you'll be learning how to start even if you have limited capital. I know most of the time people say, "Oh, land is expensive." And yes, I can tell you, land is actually expensive. But, or better still, let's say real estate. Real estate is expensive, while land is the cheapest way to come into real estate. And of course, it also has its own risk. But then, if you know your way around, just like I said, knowledge first. If you can build the right knowledge, you can build the right assets. So by the end of this masterclass, your perspective about land and land investment, wealth creation from land banking will never remain the same. So I'm here to change your perspective about land investment, right? So firstly, let's look at the truth about land banking. And I'm going to begin with a question. The question is this: what comes to your mind when you hear land banking? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? I wouldn't mind. Let's have you drop your comment, drop it in the comment box. Yes, yes, yes. Drop it in the comment box. I want to see what you think when somebody mentioned to you that there is a land banking offer somewhere. What is the first thing that comes to mind? What is the first thing that comes to mind? Okay. Anyway, so for the sake of time, um, why many people think that land banking means buy land and wait, which is partially correct. Land banking in the real sense is much deeper than that. Yes, it is deeper than that. And for me, I would say land banking is the strategic acquisition of land in locations expected to experience future growth and development. So you strategically buy land, acquire land in some locations that you are expecting that it will experience future growth and development. And the beauty of land banking is that it doesn't matter. I mean, the beauty of strategic location is that it doesn't matter whether it is in the midst of already existing development or is a future development that is to come. So, but this is what is important. The key word here is strategic. So not emotional, not random, purchase of land. Not because a friend even recommended it, and not even because everybody is buying there. You don't follow social media news to settle for a land banking opportunity that will eventually build wealth for you. You must be strategic. Just take note of that word strategic, because land banking is about buying tomorrow's value at today's price. So imagine if you have gone to buy tomorrow's price, tomorrow's value. I mean, you buy today's price at tomorrow's value. How do I even put that? Eh? You buy tomorrow's, you buy today's price. You buy today's value at tomorrow's price. Yes, you buy today's value at tomorrow's price instead of buying tomorrow's value at today's price. So land banking is buying tomorrow's value at today's price, not buying today's price at tomorrow's value, right? So imagine someone who bought a land in Ibejuleki, just like I shared a video while we were preparing for this masterclass, that about if somebody who bought land many years ago, he even used his cooperative money to buy the land around the Bejuleki. At that time, he didn't know that Dangote refinery was coming. There was going to be Lekki Deep Sea Port, Free Trade Zone, and the rest. But he bought. Now, imagine someone who bought land in that Ibejuleki before the land Dangote refinery came, before the Lekki Deep Sea Port, and even Free Trade Zone. At that time, people will say to the person, just like people always say, that nothing is happening there. People say nothing is happening there. Nothing is happening here. Why did you bring me to the bush? Why did you bring me to no man's land? But the truth is this: today, the story is actually different. The story is different, and everybody can see that it is actually different. Yes, everybody can see that it's actually different. Yes, keep your comments coming. Thank you. Keep it coming. Let's have your comment, right? So today the story is different. The investors was not that bought land in the like many years ago. He wasn't buying land, he was buying the future. And that is land banking. Now, the truth is this: there's no way you're going to be buying land somewhere for land banking of land banking strategy or land wealth strategy, and you will not be buying based on an information or informations that is available at your fingertips. Don't worry, in this masterclass, I'm going to teach you how to identify land banking opportunities that will eventually build you wealth, right? So now let's look at why land creates wealth. And I'm going to share four. I'll share four. Now, this is one thing you should first know, that God is no longer creating land. He's no longer creating land. He has made land, he has made it from the beginning. So God is no longer creating land, yet population keep increasing, demand for land keep increasing, and this same land that people are asking for remain fixed. It's not increasing, of course, except for distant filling of water that people are doing. So, but the truth is this: land is fixed. It remains fixed, right? Population is increasing, demand is increasing. So this is one reason that land appreciate over time. This is one reason that land appreciate over time. So let's look at the four reasons land creates wealth. Number one, scarcity. Land is limited. I must say that, just like I mentioned it earlier too. Land is limited. It's not so much. It's not. Nobody is making it anymore. Nobody is creating it more. Nobody, right? So land is limited, yet population is increasing. Number two is population grows. So we're having more people who need places to live, places to do business, places to move to. So we have more people who need places to live. And because of that, because of this population growth, land is becoming scarce, and the value of it is also increasing. And as value of land is increasing, it is creating wealth for people who positioned earlier, right? So urban expansion is also one major reasons why land creates wealth, right? Urban expansion. We see cities keep expanding outward. We see Lagos expanding into Ogun State. People who live in Mowe today, most of them claim that they are living in Lagos. Well, but that is what urban expansion can do, right? You see a major city increasing, expanding outward into other states, right? So then we also have infrastructure development. And this I will share an example with you. We There is an upcoming federal medical university, is it federal university of medicine, or medicine university? How do I put that? Right now, it's somewhere in Ogun State. Now people are beginning to position. People are going to buy land around this area because a school of medicine is coming. The University of Medicine is coming. It's already been built, and people are already acquiring land in that area. We also see an example like that too around the Gateway Airport. People are positioning, people are buying land. So these are places, or these are things that makes land value, create wealth for people who are positioning early. So roads, you see, when a new road is constructed, you begin to see people positioning. The ongoing Lagos Calabar way is if you need to see the numbers of people who are positioning just so that they can own properties here because of the road that is being constructed. And we have seen the examples of factories too. Once a factory is coming to town, coming to the area, you see people positioning to buy land, because these are things that makes land to appreciate, and of course creating wealth for people, right? We see there are different projects, government announcing one project or the other, and because of that, people who position early enough by owning properties, owning land in such areas, they begin to get value for the money they have invested in acquiring the land. Now let me ask you a question before we continue. What developments have increased property values in your area? What development do you think have increased property value in your area? Now, this is a question that I want to believe everybody should be able to answer. Yes, the reason is because you can see. This is not something that cannot be seen. You can see what is happening, how the area where you live used to be, or the place where you know where you probably had lived there before, or you knew about a particular location, how it has been before now. So question is, what developments increased the property value in that area recently? I want to drop it in the comment section, drop it in the comment box. So I'll take this opportunity to also celebrate everyone joining and those who will watch this session after now, right? So what property, what developments have increased property value in your area recently? That is the question. What development have they brought to your area? Is it factory? Is it road? Is it school? Whatever it is, or what is it that have brought development to your area in the recent times? Yes, I celebrate everyone joining. Thank you for being here. We are discussing land banking and how it can help wise investors can buy cheap land and of course build wealth with it, right? And this is the day one of the masterclass. The class also continues tomorrow. So let's let me see your response in the comment box, but I'll continue. Now let's look at how to identify high growth areas. How to identify high growth areas. I've shared earlier, you have seen here people say, oh, buy land here, buy land there. But these are things that you should also watch out for, because this is where investors make money too, not when they buy land, right? It is not when they buy land, but before they buy land, they must be sure that their money is returning. We must be sure, because I also buy land. We must be sure that our money is returning to us. So not just to buy land, but I mean, we don't make money when we are buying the land. We make money before we even bought the land, right? So let's look at the signs of future growth. Number one is new roads. New roads. Now you must be sure that new roads are coming. Road projects create accessibility. When there are new projects coming, I mean new road projects coming, you see that people begin to, and of course it's creating access. It's giving people opportunity to get to a land that they are showing them, or a family is interested, has been interested in selling off their property before now. And because of the introduction of a new road project, you begin to see people having easy access to their land. So new roads, when the government is planning to go to a particular area to construct new roads, just know that that's a sign that there's going to be a future growth in this area. Now, another one is government projects. And just like I shared earlier, we have seen airports being constructed, rail lines. In fact, to tell you this, what the railway, the rail lines, the railway, the new rail line that the federal government did a few years back, if you know the kind of development that alone has created on that around the rail lines, you really embrace buying land around there. Of course, there's also a limitation to buying land around the rail lines, and the reason is because the federal government has interest in properties that is on that corridor. So if you are buying, you should be able to leave the setback that the federal government has earmarked or recommended. Then you now buy your own property there. But the truth is this: the rail line itself has also created opportunities for people to buy land in areas around it. Also industrial hubs, I mentioned that of Dangote earlier, around Ibejuleke. And of course, what is also coming to Ekpe is massive. What is coming to Ekpe is massive. And we have also seen news about what is coming also to Ogun State through Dangote, a lot of developments, a lot of infrastructure, government projects coming up. And this is showing you just one thing, that it's time for you to start positioning, because the more you position for land acquisition, the more you are positioning for wealth creation. Yes, road access, the more you are positioning for wealth. So let's continue. New estate. Now, developers do their research before entering locations. And I've shared this over and over again. When a real estate company is interested in selling a property to you, you the question and they take you to that place. You don't say this place is too far, because there must be a reason why that real estate company is buying land in that area. There must be a reason. So that is what you should be asking, because developers, they do their research before entering locations. So new estate could be signs that development is coming and your property will also appreciate. Population movement, people moving into an area. You see people moving. Once people are beginning with, once you see that there is a new site emerging, right? That's a sign that you should also go to that area. Just like at the moment, we are having people moving into the Kobakbe down to interchange. We see people moving towards that area. There was a time people were moving from Baga to Mowe, and of course to Mowe to interchange. Now we have seen people pitching, moving around the corridors like the Kobakbe axis down to interchange. And we have also seen examples like that uh, around Aton. People move. People are today. We're also seeing people moving to Badagry, as far as going to Badagry. Why? Because there is now a rail that connects people living in Badagry to their business on the mainland. So a lot of development taking place, but people, it only takes people who can see the future ahead to really position. And that is also one of the essence of this masterclass. You don't just sit there and say, oh, nothing is happening in Nigeria. Yes, I understand that we're having issues, we're having insecurities around us, but still does not mean that everywhere is insecure. There are places you should begin to look out for to buy your land there. Also, commercial activities. Commercial activities is also a major one. Now, we see businesses opening up. Businesses are opening up, banks are arriving, fuel stations are arriving, markets are expanding. So these are some of the signs that there's going to be a future growth, and you should also position, right? You should position. Now, I want you to take note of this rule. Don't buy where development has already peaked, except you are ready to buy higher, and then of course sell higher when you know the property has appreciated. But this is a rule in land banking wealth creation. Don't buy where development has already peaked. Buy where development is heading, right? Don't buy where development has already peaked. Buy where development is heading. Now let's look at the biggest land banking mistakes that people make, and I'm going to share just few with you. Number one is that buying because everybody is buying. I've said this, once the news is already on social media, it's too late for you to join or to buy. So you don't buy because everybody is buying. You don't buy because social media is talking about it. You buy because you have checked the parameters I mentioned earlier, and you can of course settle. You have seen those signs and you can see that there's a future growth. It's not that growth is already taking place, right? There's a future growth, and then you begin to position yourself in areas like that. So mistake number two, ignoring documentation. Now this is very important. Land banking of those days is not the same land banking of today. Land acquisition of those days is not the same land acquisition of today. Of course, I also know that we have seen people bought land and then they lose their land. I was still in conversation with somebody today, earlier today, who was telling me that He lost interest in buying land because he bought from Omonile, and then the children came later, and then they said they did not, their father did not sell land, and they took the matter to court. The case has been in court for over a year now. And so we know that there are cases like that. But if I tell you this, that one of the major cause of having issues with Omonile is ignoring documentation. When you ignore documentation, you will surely have issues with them, because documentation helps you scale through some of these problems, future problems, right? So ignoring documentation is number two mistake. Number three is buying without verifying ownership. A lot of people make this mistake. They buy because they are hurrying them to make payments, or they are saying to them that they are not the only one who is about to buy the property. See, no land is rushing anywhere. If you are not sure or certain about the ownership of the land, you don't go ahead to buy. By the grace of God, I have bought land. I mean, I've been buying land for many years now, over 10 years, over 10 years selling land. And okay, let's say I started buying land committedly now for, let's say, 2020 2020 till date, let's say like 6 7 years now, 7 years, and I've not lost a plot of land. So when you are not in a hurry to pay somebody, you will not have issue with the real owner of the land. Today we still have that problem in Nigeria, where you really cannot attest to who is the owner of this land, because you see people, one man marrying 5 wives, marrying 10 wives, marrying 2 3 wives, and because of that they have as many children as possible. So people begin to come and say, oh, you paid these people, you did not pay me. So, and that is where issues usually come from. So buying without verifying ownership is key. And one of the things I also um, use mentioned here is that one of the ways we verify ownership is to delay payment. As much as we want to buy and then make payment, we also delay making making payment. So instead of making outright payment, you pay in installment so that you can easily know who owns the property. Now, the mistake number four, expecting instant profit. It doesn't work that way. Land banking does not bring instant profit, even though it can bring instant growth, land value, right? Instant growth in your land value. But for profit, it may not be instant. Most of the time, it's not instant. Most of the time, it is not instant. All right. Keep your comments coming. I want to be sure you are learning from this masterclass day one. Now, the fifth one is using money needed for emergencies. No, don't use money you need for emergencies to buy land, to do land banking. No, it's a mistake, because you'll be in a hurry to resell. And I always recommend, when you know that you are settling or choosing land banking as your wealth strategy, you don't rely on the resale of it to take care of your emergencies, right? Let's You should have something else that is bringing in money for you, so that whenever you have any emergency, you can easily bank on that and not on the land, because land is not liquid. It's not something that you can say you want to sell today and you say buyer today. Now, mistake number six, and I'll stop there for the on this session: buying land you don't understand. If the land is already bringing you some unrest, you should leave it. It's not every land you can acquire. Yes, even spiritually, it's not every land you can acquire. Spiritually, it's not every land you can acquire. To tell you that the same land that people are running away from, saying they don't want to go back home, they don't want to go to their village because of this, that, or that is the same land that we are buying, right? So, but then land business is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. You must be spiritually grounded for you to really buy that. So if you once you don't understand it, just leave it and let it pass, right? Now, this is something important I want you to know, that land banking is not gambling. It is not gambling. It is calculated patience. It's not gambling. It is calculated patience. So you must be patient enough to see your land return to you. Ah, should we look at how you can avoid land scams? Well, let's quickly check it. Let's quickly look at it. Now, this section allows anyone to save, can save people millions of naira. You don't just jump into a land and then you acquire it. No. So please take note or take pay rapt attention to this session. Number one is verify ownership. This is one of the ways to avoid land scam. Verify ownership. You must know who owns the land. If you are buying land from family, this is one thing I want you to know. First of all, go with the mindset that this land does not belong to one person. So if you once you go with that mindset, you will want to ensure that everyone that owns whether even a square meter in that land comes out to sign. And in a situation where it is the head of the family and some people representing, you should also ensure that their children become witnesses to their purchase, right? So this is one of the things, or yes, things to take note of. Verify ownership. Verify ownership. Number two, verify documents. Now, what do you check here? You check survey plan, deed of assignment, and the government status. Yes, I know if you're buying land, especially from Omonile, from the original owner, you most of the time you don't have survey plan. But then it still does not mean they don't know where their land begins and where it stops. So, but if it is possible, convince them to do a survey of the land so that you can know the portion that you are buying. So verify the document that the land has, and in the same way it does not have any document, verify, be sure that they have receipts to issue to you. And of course, they will also be willing to sign under camera. So deed of assignment, make them sign deed of assignment at the point of payment or at the point of paying, making your last payment. Then government status. Now, you can buy land from family and go scot-free, but once the government has interest in that land and you did not verify that, is as good as you have bought land from the wrong family. So get to know what the government is saying about the land. And then the third one, inspect the site. Never rely solely on pictures. I don't know why people just like pictures. When you are buying a vacant land, you are buying a virgin land. Pictures does not do anything. Picture do you must what you are interested in knowing is the environment. How is the environment? What is happening in this environment? Is there anything happening there? Any development? Anyone building anything? Anyone planting anything? It is the environment that you should so much interested in, not pictures. I say to people that if you are saying picture, I can as well give you a random picture of any bush somewhere and you take that as your picture. But what you need is the environment, how the environment look like. Then another thing is work with reputable companies. Yes, because track record matters. Track record matters. I told you earlier that I have bought land and I have sold land. I've not had issues with acquisition. I've done investment in other things. I've lost money. But you say land, I've not lost money. I've not lost money. So work with reputable companies, reputable people who can also give you confidence in what you are buying. Now, I have these questions to ask you. Oh no, better still, let's do it. You should ask questions. Ask questions when you are buying land. I'm giving you another point now. Ask questions because a genuine seller will welcome questions while a fraudulent seller avoids them. So this thing is also psychological. You should begin to look at the people that you are dealing with, people who have brought the deals to you, How convincing are they trying to convince you? If they are trying to convince you to quickly buy drop money, just know that there's something that you need to find out, right? And when you are asking questions and they are not answering your questions, just know that there's something fraudulent about the matter. So just be patient enough to ask questions. Now, let's look at this story. A buyer purchased land because the price was cheap. He never inspected the land, he never verified ownership, and many years later, he discovered the land was under government acquisition. Guess what? His money is gone. And what is the lesson for you here? Cheap land can become expensive mistakes. I want to believe that you have picked something from today's class. So the summary of what I have taught tonight, I've taught you what land banking really means. And I also mentioned why land creates wealth. I also mentioned how to identify growth locations and the common mistakes investors make and how to avoid them. I want to believe you have learned something tonight. So before tomorrow's class, I want you to think of a location you know, research for new roads, new estates, government projects, even commercial activities that is taking place there, and come prepared to discuss whether that location has investment potential. So this is where we are going to stop this class today. Tomorrow, we will cover how investors evaluate land opportunities, how to buy land at the right price. We also look at different land banking strategies. We also consider how to start with small capital, and we'll look at some real life Nigerian cases or Nigerian case studies. Also, we'll consider investment opportunities you can explore. So thank you for joining the day one of this masterclass. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day two of the land banking masterclass. Remember, the best time to buy land was years ago. The next best time is when knowledge meets opportunity. Thank you and have a great night.